1 hour a day can change your life. 1 hour a day given to the study of any subject will make you an expert in that subject in 5 years or less. 1 hour a day, 60 minutes, 3,600 seconds. A drop in the ocean of time, yet a force powerful enough to shape your destiny, not someday, not eventually, but now, today. Because 1 hour a day, given with full intention and unwavering discipline, can become the dividing line between mediocrity and mastery, between drifting and dominating, between wishing and becoming. The world will try to convince you that transformation requires miracles, that greatness is reserved for the chosen few, that success is the result of luck, timing, or some secret advantage you weren't born with. But they're wrong. The truth, the real secret, it's buried inside the hours you waste, the hours you scroll, the hours you delay, the hours you give away, because God gave you time as the most powerful currency on earth. And while most spend it like loose change, the few who rise, the builders, the believers, the legends, they invest it. And they start with 1 hour a day. Edison did. When he was working 16-hour shifts by day and reading scientific journals by night, 1 hour a day of vision lit a world that lived in darkness. Lincoln did. With candlelight and borrowed books, he gave himself an hour to master words that would one day hold a fractured nation together. Carnegie did. So did Ford. So did Hill. All men who understood this truth. What you do with a single hour reveals what you believe about your future. Are you idle, waiting for life to hand you meaning? Or are you awake, alert, aware that time is slipping like sand through your finger sand? Only you can decide to seize it. This isn't about overhauling your life overnight. It's about commanding one sacred hour. No noise, no excuses, just 1 hour where the rest of the world disappears and you show up for the future version of you. That version, the one you keep seeing in flashes, the one that haunts you with its potential, doesn't require you to move mountains today. It requires you to move forward, consistently, daily, relentlessly. 1 hour of focused reading, 1 hour of skill building, 1 hour of writing, creating, refining, 1 hour of deep learning, strategic planning, spiritual centering. That's all it takes to build momentum that compounds. You see, mediocrity isn't born in catastrophic failure. It's born in neglected minutes, wasted windows of time that look too small to matter until they stacked into years of regret. But masterize the type that reshapes families, communities, even generations, is built on the back of small daily disciplines. It's built in that 1 hour when everyone else is asleep, distracted, or disinterested. If you study the greats, you'll find this pattern: not noise, not chaos, not random luck, routine, focus, faith. 1 hour a day became their edge, their weapon, their altar. Because in that hour, they weren't feeding their ego, they were feeding their mind. They weren't chasing applause, they were chasing alignment. They weren't seeking comfort, they were seeking clarity. And clarity is the gateway to power. What happens when you give your best hour to your vision instead of your vices? Your brain rewires, your self-respect rises, your identity shifts. You stop saying, I want to become, and start saying, I am becoming. This is not motivational fluff. This is the compound law of greatness. Napoleon Hill wrote, 1 hour a day given to the study of any subject will make you an expert in that subject in 5 years or less. That's not opinion. That's physics. That's philosophy. That's divine law. Because whatever you water grows. And 1 hour a day is the rain that turns seeds into harvest. But here's the catch. The hour must be sacred. No multitasking. No half-hearted scrolling. No starting and stopping. One focused hour where you disappear into the lab of your own becoming, where you show the universe you are serious, where your actions declare to God and the world, I will not waste this life. And the moment you make that choice, truly make it, not say, I'd heaven and earth move to support you, because intention aligned with action is unstoppable. So what will you do with your hour? Will you learn the language that opens global doors? Will you write the book that lives long after you die? Will you master the craft that sets your soul on fire? Will you build the body, the brand, the business that becomes your legacy? You don't need a miracle. You need a decision. 1 hour a day, 1 hour to rise while others sleep, 1 hour to believe while others doubt, 1 hour to build what others only wish for. The clock is ticking, and your hour begins now. Not tomorrow, not next year. Now, because your future is not waiting. It's watching. Absolutely. Here's the next uninterrupted continuation of the cinematic motivational voiceover script titled 1 hour a day can change your life. Continued from the previous section. But here's the truth. Nobody tells you 1 hour a day is not just about time management. It's about identity reconstruction. It's about rewriting the script that life, failure, fear, and mediocrity tried to assign you. Because when you give one focused hour to your growth every single day, you're not just gaining skills, you're becoming someone else, someone more dangerous, someone more deliberate, someone unstoppable. And that hour doesn't care how old you are. It doesn't care how broke you are. It doesn't care how many mistakes you've made or how many people have counted you out. That hour is your reset button. It's your edge. And if you respect it, if you honor it, it will rebuild your future from the foundation up. Don't believe it? Ask the giants who came before you. Thomas Edison worked 10,000 failed prototypes in silence, in darkness, in relentless repetition, no hour at a time until the world had light. Lincoln educated himself by candlelight, devouring pages while the rest of the world slept. Andrew Carnegie? He didn't inherit fortune, he studied it. 1 hour at a time, and then he built it from steel and vision. You keep waiting for life to give you more time, but time doesn't show up. You carve it out of stone with discipline and decision. 1 hour. That's it. 1 hour when you say no to distractions and yes to destiny. 1 hour when you stop scrolling and start building. 1 hour when you forget what everyone else is doing and focus like a laser on what you were born to do. That hour becomes your altar, where you lay down the old version of you, the excuses, the doubts, the laziness, and rise up with fire. Because in that hour, you are choosing who you become. And here's the secret. Napoleon Hill embedded deep in his philosophy, what you think about, you become. What you dwell on in that one sacred hour becomes your identity, your energy, your magnet. You want to attract success? Stop chasing it. Start earning it in that quiet hour where no one sees you but the universe hears you. That's the law of cause and effect in motion. You can't plant seeds of discipline in the morning and not expect a harvest of greatness in the future. Every time you show up for that 1 hour, you're casting a vote for the person you were meant to be. And the universe? It responds to clarity, to consistency, to courage. 1 hour a day is not a hack. It's a covenant between you and your future. And what you do in that hour will echo in what you become in the decades that follow. So turn off the noise, shut down the outside world, and get ruthlessly intentional about your time. You think it's too late? Colonel Sanders was 62 when he built KFC. You think it's too hard? Helen Keller couldn't see, couldn't hear, and still graduated college and changed the world. You think you don't have what it takes? That's a lie. The world sells to keep you average. Because the truth is you were born with everything you need. And 1 hour a day is the chisel that reveals it. Don't wait for motivation. Motivation is cheap. Show up when it's hard, when you're tired, when no one's watching. That's when transformation happens. That's when your mind learns resilience. That's when your soul learns faith. And faith is the root of all achievement. Napoleon Hill said it best. Whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe it can achieve. But belief without effort is delusion. Belief without action is fantasy. And action begins with a single, consistent hour of focused, undistracted effort. An hour of reading the right books. An hour of planning, learning, creating. An hour of sharpening your gifts. An hour of becoming so skilled, so rare, so valuable that life cannot ignore you anymore. Because you've been tested in secret and proven in private. And that's when the world starts asking, where did this person come from? But you'll know you came from the hour, from the repetition, from the lonely mornings and silent nights where you built something no one saw until it exploded. This is your power, your edge, your revolution. And is not found in the next podcast or the next inspirational quote or the next get-rich-quick plan. It's found in ownership. You own your time or your time owns you. And if you don't master your morning, the world will master your mind. So here's your challenge. Before the sun rises tomorrow, win the war. Show up for your hour. Guard it like it's oxygen. Treat it like it's sacred. And give it everything you've got. Not because it's easy, but because your future demands it. And when that hour is done, walk into your day with the confidence of someone who has already won. Because you did. Because the truth is, most people will never know what it feels like to live with that kind of power. They'll never taste the fire of full potential ignited. They'll never experience the storm of momentum you create when you move with precision, one intentional hour at a time. They sleep through their greatness. They numb their pain with distractions. They drown their purpose in shallow pleasures. And the saddest part? They think that's normal. They call it balance. But it's not balance. It's quiet surrender. You weren't born to live like that. You were born to build, to break limits, to burn with a reason so big it keeps you up at night and pulls you out of bed before the world even stirs. And that reason, that fire, it's buried under layers of delay, fear, and mental noise. But the hour clears it. The hour strips away the unnecessary. The hour reminds you of the truth. You are not here to survive. You are here to create, to lead, to become. And 1 hour a day is how you remember who you are. So let the world waste their time. Let them binge. Let them gossip. Let them spin their wheels in endless cycles of mediocrity. You're different. You're the one who steps out of line. You're the one who rewrites the rules. You're the one who understands that an empire is built in silence before it's seen in public. You don't need to announce your greatness. You build it in private, with grit, with hunger, with consistency, because when the preparation is deep, the emergence is unstoppable. And don't think for 1 second that this path will be easy. It's not supposed to be. Resistance is the compass. If it's hard, that means it matters. And if it matters, then your hour becomes the battlefield. That's where you face the voices in your head telling you it's not worth it, that you'll never make it, that you should just sleep in, just do it tomorrow, just give up. But that hour teaches you to talk back. It teaches you to command yourself. That is the true secret of all high performers. They don't wait to feel like it. They decide who they are and act from that place. And that decision gets made every day in that 1 hour. You're not building a habit. You're building identity muscle. You're reprogramming your nervous system for discipline, focus, and power. And just like a sculptor chips away at stone to reveal the form inside, you chip away at every excuse, every distraction, every weakness, until the strongest version of you emerges. And that version, it doesn't apologize for being different. It doesn't shrink for comfort. It doesn't ask for permission. It wakes up and demands more from life, because it knows that 1 hour is not a cost, it's an investment, and the return is exponential. 1 hour of reading becomes a library of ideas. 1 hour of writing becomes a published book. 1 hour of working out becomes a body of energy and endurance. 1 hour of planning becomes a business. 1 hour of prayer becomes faith unshakable. You do it once, it's a good decision. You do it for 30 days, it's a habit. You do it for 365 days, and it becomes who you are. So look in the mirror and tell yourself the truth. This is your time. And time is not something you have. Time is something you use. And how you use that 1 hour will decide whether you spend your life watching others rise or rising yourself. You don't need to leap a mountain today. You just need to take the first step for 1 hour. You don't need all the answers. You just need alignment. So what will you do? Will you reclaim that hour? Will you protect it like a sacred contract with your future self? Will you rise when your comfort screams stay down? Because if you do, if you can win just 1 hour, you'll start winning your day. And if you win enough days, you'll win your life. You'll look back in 5 years and realize that everything you became, everything you achieved, every person you inspired was born from one small, quiet hour. Repeated, respected, revered. This is your legacy under construction. The only question left is, will you show up tomorrow or stay asleep in your potential? The world doesn't need another distracted mind. It needs your awakened soul. There's a war happening, and it's invisible, not on battlefields, not on headlines, but inside you, between who you are and who you could be. Every time you hit snooze instead of rising, every time you scroll instead of building, every time you settle instead of pushing, you feed the weaker self, and that self grows louder. But that hour, that sacred, focused, intentional hour, that's where you starve the weakness. That's where you train the warrior. That's where you stop reacting and start creating. Because creation is not magic, it's structure. It's 1 hour of strategy multiplied by courage, repeated in silence until the world can no longer ignore what you've become. Do you think Edison became Edison by accident? Do you think Carnegie, Lincoln, or Ford stumbled into greatness? No. They won their private hours. They built in the dark. They failed, revised, persisted, rewired over and over with a vision no one else could see. And 1 hour a day gave them enough firepower to bend the world around their will. That same blueprint is in your hands right now, but the hour won't chase you. It won't beg for your attention. It won't knock on your door. You must protect it from the noise, from the comfort, from the part of you that wants to stay small. Because the world will tempt you every day to give that hour away, to trade it for dopamine, for ease, for empty pleasure. But the hour given is never returned. And the hour owned, that becomes immortal. What you do in that time echoes beyond the moment. It compounds, it builds businesses, it transforms bodies, it rewrites minds, it ignites missions, it creates legacy. And when the storms of life come, and they will, that hour will be your anchor, your compass, your fortress, because it wasn't built on emotion. It was built on decision. And decision is what separates the dreamers from the doers, the followers from the leaders, the excuse makers from the empire builders. If you've made it this far, it means you're not like them. You're not waiting for the perfect moment. You're not hoping someone rescues you. You've remembered something most people forgot. That time is not the enemy. It is your greatest asset. And the moment you begin using it with ruthless focus, everything changes. So let this be the moment where your future self breathes a sigh of relief because you chose to rise. You chose the difficult hour over the easy day. You chose purpose over passivity. You chose to wake up and build. Not someday, not when it's convenient, not when the stars align, but today. Because you understand now, you don't need 24 hours to change your life. You just need one. 1 hour of power. 1 hour of clarity. 1 hour of full alignment between who you are and who you're becoming. And you do it again and again and again until there is no version of you that shrinks, only a version that rises. Let the world wonder what your secret is. Let them try to catch up. Because when they finally see what you've built, you'll already be 10 years ahead. All because you mastered one single sacred decision. to give 1 hour a day to the life you were born to live. Thank you.